Now, here's your host, Alana.
Welcome back to the Alana Show, where beauty, style, and creative flair takes center stage. Today's guest is an absolute force. He's not only an award-winning hairstylist and socialite, but also a multidisciplinary artist whose work spans the world of fashion, photography, and fine art. You may know him as Beauty by Matt on Instagram with an underscore at the end. And if you're not already following, trust me, you definitely will want to after today's show. Whether he's capturing ethereal underwater images, painting bold fashion illustrations, or crafting flawless wigs and couture moments, Matthew Yeandle brings artistry and intention to everything he touches. Born and raised in New York City, Matthew's love for art began early, sketching Vogue covers as a kid and experimenting with mediums like ink, charcoal, watercolor, airbrush, and large-scale murals. His work has been featured at Art Basel, Miami, the Palm Beach Art and Antique Show, numerous private galleries, and even on Netflix. From high fashion to high concept, his creative range knows no limits. And yes, I still say it best, Matthew, you blow my mind and my hair. Let's get into it. So Matthew, what first sparked your passion for art and got you into the art business? And welcome to the Alana Show.
Hey, nice to see you again.
You too.
Well, I've been an artist since I'm born, frankly. My parents are both artists. My family, even my brother, my sister. So I come from a long line of artists.
I love that.
And when I was younger, I painted and did a lot of traditional art. But as I evolved in the beauty business, I worked with some of the most famous photographers in the world in New York. And that's what got me into doing my own photography and focusing on the art. So pretty much that's kind of like the transition from where I've gone.
So that's interesting. So you essentially like started painting and, obviously you have an interest. It's in your blood, runs through the family. But then you went into hair, makeup, and then kind of swung back around to art, which, the emphasis on you having that experience with hair and makeup is, it shows, and it kind of just leaps you right into Palm Beach and, some of the hardest areas in the world to become prominent in, and you did it.
Well, it's a good fit. It's a perfect fit,
if there
frankly.
Ever was one.
It's a good fit. But, so basically, I really wasn't doing that much photography on my own. I was doing the hair and makeup for other photographers in Manhattan. But when I got my house in Palm Beach, I was able to be creative because I had space. Mm-hmm. So I did I started doing my own thing.
Well, you say
creating my own
you
imagery.
Have space. Now, you mean like creative space or like physical space?
Physical.
Or, yes. The two. Yeah. Creative space is important too because,
creative space too, yes, because I feel like, the lifestyle in Florida is so soothing and healing. It's getting a little crazy down here now. But when I first got my house, it was definitely a place where I used to come here, decompress, and really be able to, let go and creative, like you said, creative space, and allow myself to ponder on other opportunities and other things in my life.
I love that. And, I do find it fascinating. Like, even I know an artist that was an artist growing up. And then they're a barber, but they're very talented, do sports players, things like that. But they have that background of art. And I think, obviously hair and makeup, people, at least I never did until I met you, is kind of connect those dots. Is they're an artist, with hair and makeup.
But
you took it and you put it into photography as well, which your photography is exceptional. You can hear about it when you talk about it, both you're passionate and then you see it in your work. Which I want to cover on is, out of all the incredible work you do, what do you enjoy creating the most between the three topics and, the part of photography, I guess?
Well, I would say it is pretty equivalent. I love all of it. I really do love every aspect. But I think I like working with the people, with the models and experiencing different people is probably my favorite part because...
Thank you. No,
it is because it's awesome. It's like you meet all these different people. Sometimes it's not the best experience, but it's an experience. But I love people, and that's part of why I like shooting imagery with people. A lot of people ask me if I do other types of art, which I dabble in it, but I focus on people because as a hair and makeup artist since I'm 17, I've worked with people, and, you know, it's about bringing out their beauty. So when I do my photography, it's the same concept. You know, I'm bringing out your beauty on another level.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I do have to say, you know, I've sat with you in the chair. You know, we haven't done like a photo shoot or anything, but taken photos, and I've seen you work with people, and, you know, your direction is like immaculate, but your patience. You have patience, and then also, I mean, even when you're doing hair, you're like a therapist to me.
Yeah,
I mean, so you're you know, and you can make people comfortable and also educate them because you're so passionate. And that's my favorite about both hanging out with you. It's a free therapy session. And
Thanks.
And I look beautiful at the end. I'm just cleaned up all around. No, but I really appreciate you, and you know that. But so I find that fascinating. You worked in so many mediums. Can you tell us more about the different forms you explore, like in detail?
Oh.
Ethereal. And we got to go over that.
You're
underwater. That's my favorite of yours.
Well, that's my latest thing.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know, my foundation starts with classic art, you know, basically from pencil to paint to even a little bit of sculpture. The murals, I did a lot of those when I was young, and I think that really gave me the confidence in what I do because I had people that owned businesses. I was only like 16, 17, and they had me painting their store walls and whatever. They would pay me to do that, a lot of money.
Wow.
And I'm like a kid, you know, but they really, really trusted and believed in me.
Well, your work shows it. And also, I mean, when you're in the zone, I've seen you in the zone. It is, I mean, it's almost like if AI could create somebody that's an absolute professional perfectionist, but comfortable in their shoes and bringing others in, which they can't do, you do that. It's amazing to watch you work. Actually, I wish we'll talk about the Netflix documentary in a bit, but I want to hear more about your specifics here in the underwater.
Yeah, well, and then, you know, the photography obviously is my current medium that I work in for quite some years now. And I did a lot of fashion stuff. And I think when you're an artist, you learn to navigate the terrain you're in. So, you know, I've been in Palm Beach for some time now, but you learn what people like too, not just what you like. And I think you have to learn that also as a stylist. You know, when you're working with people, it's important to listen to what people like, what works for them. And that I am applying to my art as well, because say I'm commissioned, I have to really listen. But, you know, if I'm creating art, I want to meet the people where they are.
Exactly. Well, you know, I find that fascinating too. I mean, do you ever come across people that are like, this is my look, this is what I like, this is what I'm going for, and you say, wait a minute, I'm envisioning something here, and I want to show you what that is.
Well, sometimes it's pretty frustrating. It can be when you have people. I mean, I don't know how to say this, but not everybody has great style. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
And when you're working with people, and it's not a matter of money, it's not a matter of class, it's not a matter of anything. You know, some people just have it and some people don't. And it can be frustrating sometimes when I'm working with somebody who really could use some good advice in that area.
Well, see, I don't have it. This is not in my blood. That's why I'm so grateful I met you.
I don't agree.
But here's me. I listen. I've always listened to you, but I can understand when, you know, how frustrating it would be when somebody doesn't actually get it, but they think they're an expert in the field. Not to say that they're not, you know, or have their own flair or look, or that it, you know, kind of, you can come up and create something off what they did to accentuate them. Go on.
Right.
The nice way.
So, you know, it's a matter of, you know, being a good listener and a good observer. I mean, because here we are dealing with visual, you know, predominantly. It's visual, but it's, you know, you can't evolve into what it needs to be until you really get to know the person, or you're really keen on reading people. Like what hits them, you know, what makes them happy.
And then combining that into a look. I want to touch more on your art. It's just so fascinating. I mean, what goes through your mind from the beginning of the shoot to kind of the end? I know, depending on a shoot.
Well, it's pretty, it's so funny. I'm so in it that sometimes it's more of a intuitive process than it is a mental process.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is for me as an artist. But I will say that I plan a lot of my shoots. I'm very calculated as to what because like every year I do a series. Like I tend to do series of art. I don't just do one image per year, or some artists will, I created one picture, we're going to show that next year or whatever. No, and I think I may be doing that because like when you do editorials, which is a lot of what I did in New York, photographers used to do, we did spreads in magazines. So I really enjoy doing a collection, and a collection is special. I mean, it's just a collection of what you create.
So the editorial is kind of, one done, move on to the next project, but you're working on a collection, and then do you like put
No, an editorial is not just one and done. It's a collection of images for a series. It's like a series of images that kind of jive together.
And you're releasing these just for people, I kind of want them to kind of log in or, take a look at your website or Instagram to kind of look at, what you mean by editorial collections and, your work in general would be great. So your website is? Photographybymatt.net. Okay. And then your Instagram, Beauty by Matt _. Beauty by Matt _Instagram. Okay,
yes.
Very good. And which one do you prefer? You show work on both of them too, or
well, they're both different because Instagram is just quick
photos.
Posts, and the other one is more detailed.
Where they can see.
Yeah, and you can read my resume, and you can get to know
a
more
lot
about
of background,
me.
Which we're going to do here today, Matthew Yeandle. So where can they book you or find out how to get a hold of you for work?
Well, I prefer texts.
Okay.
I don't really like speaking to people via social media because it's crazy out there.
Well, there is that.
No, it really is. It's just there's so many people messaging you,
no,
and then you
line?
You can't remember what that person's tag name was or whatever, and it just gets confusing.
No, I understand. Especially, you're getting in high demand, and I mean that. I mean, you're doing, private art shows. You're on, Worth Avenue, probably one of the most prestige places in the world. Not just the United States. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
And I look forward to your next show, which we'll talk to at the end. It'll probably be next winter with all your collections.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Well, if they would like to reach me, I'm fine. I know it's crazy, but I'll give you my number. Because I really do like being texted about things versus Instagram. It's just
It is. Everybody has their preference, and it's important to share.
And my phone number's on my website.
Oh, good.
And it's even on my Instagram. Hello.
Just say it already. I know.
It's a New York area code.
It's up to you. It's going out to the masses. No, but it should, and they can see your work on Instagram, Beauty by Matt, with an underscore. And it's important. It's an underscore.
Yeah, the underscore matters because the young man who has
give me the name.
My Instagram without anything on the page doesn't answer me.
Oh, no.
I can't believe this kid. He has 3 pictures on there for years.
Offer to give him a shoot.
He doesn't want. No, he won't. He's a kid. He probably made it and forgot. That's just what you get out of social media. See?
I'm teasing. That's hilarious.
I have to put the underscore. Ugh.
Well, let's see here. So you worked in so many mediums. Obviously. So can you tell us more about the different forms you explore currently?
Well, I love the water, and that's part of it. It's very healing. It's tranquil. And I'm in Florida. So those are 2 reasons why I gravitated towards doing that type of imagery. And
I would like to give some people an imagery if they're not looking at your, Beauty by Matt _ Instagram.
Paint a picture.
Is, exactly. Paint you a picture of this beautiful picture. But it's my favorite especially when I'm getting my hair done. I just, we'll flip through. It's beautiful. And I throw a fit every time. Anyway, so it's underwater. He's actually has models underwater and he's taking the photo under there. And then you have, the moving print.
Oh, yes. So I have animated NFTs as well, which is what I'm currently working on. Those are in addition to my still images. So what I do is I'm taking some of my favorite still images and creating NFTs with those. So people can also, for their monitors, you know, if they have like those screens, frames, Samsung frames or whatever in their home,
that's beautiful.
in their home, or even their regular big, large, you know, monitor TVs, they can buy art and have my art on their screen.
Well, see, and that would be beautiful if you did, and I haven't seen this yet, maybe you have, and I just, when we flipped through a couple weeks ago, is, you know, like you do a wedding shoot, or, you know, like a couple together, or even one of your models, or, you know, somebody likes her in particular at a show that they go to, but like a wedding, that'd be adorable, like to have at the wedding reception,
That'd
like a
be
moving.
great, yes.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have to be underwater. I think you should.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe a shoot before and play that at the wedding would be gorgeous, actually.
Yeah.
And to really fully grasp
That was
it,
a trend quite some time ago, where a lot of weddings would do videos for their with the couples and stuff.
Yeah, we do
you know,
those at our.
That was, I remember when
like
that became
classy,
big.
Yeah, I'm not saying like, you know, a childhood going through, but like, you know, their image.
You know, it's interesting. My mother's 86 and paints. She goes to painting class like 2-3 times a week.
That's adorable.
Because she unfortunately could not live her dream like I am and create the art that she wishes to create. Because she was always busy working and taking care of children. Now she gets the opportunity, but it's an inspiration to watch her. In fact, something happened that was so strange recently, where a cousin of mine who was given a painting of my mother's when she was in her 20s said, "Oh, I have something of your mother's." She brought it to me. It was the first painting my mother ever did.
I just almost started crying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's amazing. So I said to my mom, "You're going to see how far you've come. You know, you're going to see the first thing you've ever done, and look at you now." Like, she's the best in her class. I mean, the ladies, you know, she's not as
I can only imagine she's the best in that. That is the cutest story I've ever heard. And I hope you grab that painting and, you know, and frame it. I want to see it in the studio. No, it's adorable.
So I am inspired by the creativity of my family and others as well, other artists. Like, I always say that, you know, I love other artists' work, and I always would love to purchase, you know, like other people's art as more than I do. But you need the right walls, you know, you need space. But I'm really... Are
you collaborating with any other artists? Sorry.
No.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Not currently.
Okay. No, in the future. But keep going. I'm still a little emotional about your mom story.
Yeah.
It's cute.
So, I mean, there's many sources of inspiration. I mean, there's nature... once again, the people. But, you know, I think fashion kind of rules a lot in my, you know, wheelhouse, because of the fact that that's the foundation of where I came from, you know, my career. So I'm very, everything I do, beautiful and fashionable. You know, those are two key
And you really
things.
can see it in everything you do, whether it's hair, makeup, or, you know, photography. I've known you long enough, but, you know, just really seeing your photography lately, it is like you just said, hey, all your experience, and there it is. Like, it's not just a photo. You're not taking photos, and you're not just painting pictures. I mean, it is a lifetime of effort.
You know, I mean, I've been a hairstylist for 40-something years, so that's a long time.
No, you're not that old, Matthew.
I am old.
No, you're
well, I'm not that old, but the thing is, it's a lot.
I know. I mean, you knew what you wanted to do. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on, too. And I find the circle of, you know, kind of your inspiration, I would say, coming across. Like, you know, you're born into a family that does it. You know, it's in your blood. You know, your mom did pursue that. She sees you pursuing it. Then she gets her art back at the door. Now she's going to classes at 86. That's adorable. And then it comes back to you, too, and kind of lights your fire. Because you do. It seems, I mean, when anybody meets you, you're going to see your fire. I mean, just right when you walk in the door, and then you start talking, you're like, I don't even care if you complete a project. Like, you're an artist. Like, this is an art piece that your mom did. And you gotta call her after this and thank her for making you, because you're my friend. And your work is beautiful. No, I do love it. I'm not going to go down that road, but I am emotional now. Thank you. So, tell us about Netflix. Whoa.
Oh, well, Netflix was, wow, that was fabulous. So I had a client that she is one of the main actresses in a Netflix series. And I can't say too much about it until it's out.
I understand.
But I can say it's October.
What?
Yeah, October.
And that will be linked to your website, kind of sending reminders to people like your friends and clients, Alana.
It'll air in October of 25.
You know, I'd love to have you back on the Alana Show.
Yeah.
And I will also look for it on Instagram, beautybymatt_. Mm-hmm. But go on. What you can say, I guess.
Oh, yeah. So basically, we just came up with the concept of having all of the have an episode at my art exhibition, and she just loved the idea, and we went with it, and it was fabulous. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I had hundreds of people there, and I had a great time. I mean, it was a very emotional experience for me because I was very supported. I had a lot of great admirers and, people that I love, and other people that are very interested in my art. I mean, it was just a wonderful experience. It really was.
Congratulations. That's beautiful. Yeah. And then when is, so we know that's coming out in October. Do you want to touch on any more? Can you touch any more on Netflix or?
Well, it was a wonderful experience. I don't know how to put it. What was really funny was I was really into watching the crew, the people that never get the credit, because I used to be one of those people, I still do certain things behind the set, but I'm working on my own things now. Whereas when I was in New York, it was all about, you were the people creating the creation. You were the people behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. You had the grippers, the whatever, everybody, doing everything.
Now
and I was making the model or the actress look beautiful, and nobody knew how or why they look so good.
Well, here they are.
But the lighting person was, working hard, but that was the best part of the experience. I remember that because after it was over, I was like really grateful to the people working behind the scenes because, they just don't get enough credit.
Yes,
they really don't. I know what it's like.
Well, and I want to touch on that. You're an inspiration to young artists. 120%. Also, models you meet, anybody getting into a business at a young age, even to me when I moved to Florida, I'm like, you're an expert in your field, and I hope whatever, I'm passionate about the many things. I become one also. You are inspiring, to anybody, just chasing what you love doing and applying what you're good at and making something out of it. And you've hit like kind of a pivotal moment in your career. And, do you want to share with some people, kind of not really the struggles, but more so, that it's worth putting everything you have into what you love doing, I guess. Because I don't think a lot of people do that these days. And I think they should, because then you end with the beauty of what you've created. It's creative, it's inspirational, and it's new. It's,
it's fresh.
It's fresh. It's not anything you see every day or copied. It's a real creation.
Yeah, I really strive for doing something unique and being unique. Or just doing what I feel, it's pretty repetitive in the art world. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in everything, I think. But my goal is to create my art.
Which you do.
That represents what my vision and stuff.
And that's a tough industry. I don't care what anybody says.
It's extremely tough.
Anybody can love drawing lines or anything like that. Yeah. But to put your whole life into it, and then, and I want to stress this, you're in the most prominent place in the world, in New York, and you hear, and that's fantastic. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. Keep it up. Yep. I mean it. So, when is your next, actual solo show? Would that be next year?
Oh, yes. It's every year.
Every year?
I usually have 3 shows a year in Palm Beach. And, Miami, Art Basel. I usually do that. And there are shows in New York I would like to do, but, and I might be in Aspen in the spring and summer as well. So, there's all different opportunities all the time, but, a lot of people don't know that. Well, it's a great expense, actually, to do all this stuff. So it's not like you just create art and then you sell it. Mm-hmm. No, it's artists have to really put a lot into their producing their art. So, and then you have to find avenues to show your art. There's just so much involved, and it's costly at times. I will say for me, with photography, it's costly because I have to print, frame, and transport. These are a lot of things people don't realize. So, whereas if you're a painter, you do have to pay the transport and the and framing, which is expensive. But when it comes to, paint and canvas is not that expensive. You can manage. But photography can be very, and then there's other things like.
Well, it's expensive time-wise too, because there's been times I reached out to you and there's been a few hours that has passed, and I'm like, "Where's Matthew?" Because anytime I reach out to you, it's a huge, urgent matter, and you have to be there.
Last minute, yeah, I know.
I'm a little last minute. Anyway, thank you, Matthew. Yeandle at Beauty by Matt on Instagram. That is with an underscore. No, but I mean it. Like it's. You do a photo shoot, and the planning into that, it seems like comes easy and natural to you is, the creativity part. But, you plan it out, you go through that whole process, then you go through all the photos, right? Like, I don't think people take that into
hours
account.
And months.
And do you ever get people impatient? I'm not going to say.
Oh, no, I have.
Like
yes,
me.
I do. When I do personal portraits or imagery for people, like jobs like that, that really can be rough because people are extremely impatient because
they're excited, and I can share with you that we are excited, but I can understand your frustration as an artist.
But I will say, and it goes down, here I am knocking Insta everything because I come from a time when you would circle the contact sheets, okay? So people waited a month. Like when I worked with a photographer, I'd have to wait weeks, maybe even a month to get an image out of that shoot. So, people
we're in a fast-paced world.
Yeah, people want everything now, and it's a whole different world. But if you want something that is refined and beautiful, it takes time. A little time.
Amen.
It's like anything.
Anything.
Cooking, anything you do.
Marriage.
Your cultivation of your spirit, your life, who you are. Your character.
Amen. And I'm glad you brought that up because that is exactly who you are and how your work looks. I mean, it is refined and it's so creative. Like you've never seen it before. I almost guarantee everybody go to his website. What is it in your website again?
Photographybymatt.net.
.net. And they can receive your phone number there if they want, your preferred method is text. And then otherwise Beauty by Matt _. And I just want to stress it enough because, when we're doing a radio show, it's not as easy. I like to, people, if they're listening, look at a visual. I think that would be the best. And it is amazing. And reach out if they want to do any shoots or get some of your beautiful work. Now, is there anything else you want to cover or, any other way to get a hold of you or not too many people because I need them to do my hair. Just kidding.
No, those are the ways.
Important. It's important to remember, folks. No, the Alana Show. No, keep going. So, no, thank you. And thank you for all the times you do blow my mind and my hair. It's Matthew Yeandle.
It's always fun.
And I'm so glad you're here. And I'm glad I met you. Like I said, when I first met you, it was kind of funny. I walked into that I went to get my nails done. Palm Beach, where my office was. On across Lake Worth Bridge on the water there. You were in the studio. Or her salon, and she's doing my nails, and I'm like, oh, you do hair, and you flapped one of my. I probably hadn't had my hair cut, because I'm very committed to my hair. I had maybe 5 people my whole life. One of them's my barber brother cut my hair once. Otherwise, it's only 5 people. You're one. So, and I made the first one cry, and then I just stuck with her, in high school, because she chopped it, and I cried, and then I loved it a day later, so I got more patient. But, you could tell, and then you started cutting my hair, and then, we went through that whole long process of dyeing it from jet black to blonde, which we will get into another time. Rough. Your face is red. You're mad. No kidding.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. But you were so patient. It took months. Man, you did it the right way. My hair didn't fall out, and I love it now. It's beautiful. And I just want to stress your patience, your creativity, and just how great you are. Matthew, Beauty by Matt _. Anything else?
No.
All right. Well, I would love to have you back again, especially when you're leading up to your next show or the Netflix documentary. And what an incredible conversation with the talented Matthew Yeandle, an artist whose vision truly speaks for itself. From fashion to fine art, his work reminds us that creativity has no limits. Matthew, thank you for sharing your story, your process, and your passion. And you can follow him on Instagram at beautybymatt _. And trust me, you'll want to keep up with everything he's creating next. This is the Alana Show, and see you next time.